So we've added in some JavaScript code, and what we've done over here is we've added it within the web page. And there are some disadvantages of doing it this way. So this is what's called inline JavaScript. So this is actually placed within your HTML page. There also is another option, which is probably the more preferred option when you're writing JavaScript, and that's actually linking to external scripts. So I'm going to create that link to an external script, and we started out the same where we do script, and here we have to indicate what type it is. So it's always a good idea to help the browser out and understand what type of content it should be expecting from this source, and then we just do source. So if you are familiar with HTML, this is going to be really easy to understand that we're adding in code in this type of fashion. So here all we have to do is link to the correct file location. So much like when you're making hyperlinks, or if you're sourcing out an image within your HTML, you make sure that you do have the correct path to where the JavaScript file is housed. And now I can actually take this and open up my scripts. So I'm going to just close that menu. It's not relevant for this course. And I'm just going to empty out scripts file and start brand new. So here I've got an alert. So basically I just copied and pasted over what I had between the script tag, and notice when I'm linking to script.js, so the extension is .js, so this is indicative of JavaScript files, and also I don't have to include these script tags anymore, because since it understands that this is a JavaScript file, it understands that it's taking that content directly out of JavaScript and bringing it in between the script tags. So it's essentially doing the same thing. So I go out to my website and I do the refresh of the page. I get the exact same pop-up box that we had earlier. Now I'm just going to hit OK and add one other bit of content into this lecture. That we see here that we've placed the JavaScript at the top of the page, and usually best practices is actually to place it just below the body tag closing, and there's actually several reasons for that. So one of the reasons that we're placing it in the body and just below the body closes is that if we do have any errors with the script file, or if it takes long to load, then we could have some loading issues. So we want to always make sure web pages load as quickly as possible. So this is why we're placing it at the bottom. So it basically speeds up the downloading process. And secondly, also because we want to have the ability to directly manipulate the DOM. So the DOM is the document object model. So that's everything contained within the web page code. And with JavaScript, you actually have access to all these different elements in HTML, and you can manipulate them. And the idea for the DOM is that you actually want the HTML to load, and then once it's loaded in, then you could use JavaScript to get access to all those various elements and do your manipulation. So you want all of those elements to load in first and then try to get access to them. So the order is important when you're looking at how code gets rendered out. So same thing with HTML and CSS, the order is important, how you present and where you present the code. So that's why best practices is link to an external file, JavaScript file, and also place it just before you close off the body tag.